Good afternoon, everyone. Today we will continue with the series of the webinars being organized by the Unido Directorate of Digitalization, Technology and Agribusiness. And particularly, we will make a more in-depth examination of the 4IR, the 4 Industrial Revolution challenges and opportunities. And for this occasion, we will make a more deep insight in one of the systems that have a paradigm change at this stage. It's on quality infrastructure. And particularly, as usual, we will focus on specific sectors where Unido is working, as the cosmetics, natural cosmetics and chemical sectors. Yeah. So I will share my screen to introduce the program and the panelists. So as explained, this webinar, we focus on natural cosmetics and natural and health products, and particularly quality infrastructure 4.0, facilitating market access and increasing competitiveness of natural cosmetics and chemical products. For this session, we have invited the following panelists. We are delighted to count with our managing director. As you may know, Bernardo, prior to his current position, he was director for technical assistance and training services at the International Organization for Standardization, as well as the secretary of the ISO Policy Committee on Developing Country Matters. With more than 25 years of experience as senior quality and standard expert, his involvement includes working in many countries of Africa, Asia, and Latin America. We will be having as well Mr. Ulrich Harmeslicke. He is a partner of the knowledge company Mesopartner. Ulrich has worldwide consulting experience in the field of sustainable economic development, particularly in value chain, clusters, territorial development, circular economy, etc., and quality infrastructure. He is the co-creator of the Calidena method. It's a quality-related value chain analysis, and also the co-editor of the blog Quality Infrastructure for Development. We will be having also Ms. Eti Feller. She is the chair of the Israel Laboratory Accreditation Authority. During the last 9 years, Eti has conducted numerous activities to promote the advancement of accreditation in Israel in several laws, acts that now include the recognition of ISRAT at the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation member accreditations. In the field of agriculture, natural gas, environment, and more international agreements. We will be having also Mr. Varun Gogia. He is the representative from the Confederation of Industry of the Indian Industry. He plays a key role in collaborating with quality initiatives, certifications, accreditations, and standards to promote quality by closely working with various divisions of the Bureau of Indian Standards, which is India's national standards body, as well as also the Quality Council of India, whose primary focus is to establish and operate national accreditation structure. And last but not least, we will be having Mr. Javier Fernandez Rodriguez. He's a national quality specialist in Bogota, Colombia, and also part of the Unido team. His current work focusing on strengthening the quality infrastructure at the governance and institutional level, as well as strengthening national capacities in laboratory services with a focus on value chains. In 2018, our colleague here, together with the Safe Plus program team, received the Unido Merit Award. So for this session, We are planning. I mean, we have organized it in the following way. Our managing director Bernardo will make a short introduction on the quality infrastructure in the context of the 4IR. Afterwards, we will be having a set of presentations from our invited panelists, where they will present some of the potential challenges, opportunities, as well as how regulatory policies of digital technologies can impact on the Unido TTA strategy outcomes. And last, our colleague, Mr. Javier Fernandez, will provide insights on how this is materialized in one of the Unido projects that is ongoing to support the natural cosmetic sectors in Colombia. We will be recording this session as well as we have done for the others, and we will kindly ask all the attendees to submit any questions you may have in the section of questions and answers. And if this is not addressed during the seminar, it will be answered later on when we will share all the presentations as well as the link for the video that is being recorded today. Having said that, I will give the floor to our managing director, Bernardo. I will just stop sharing. So Bernardo, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. And let me start by thanking our panelists and wishing everybody a very, very happy Quality Day. As you may know, 12th of November is Quality Day, and we are still celebrating. Quality is at the core of what we do, of our business. Quality standards and measurement is at the core of technology transformation, and technology and digital transformation has been going on for a long while. We don't realize, but we have been seeing it coming very strongly in our private life through measurement, through computers, laptop, iPhones, and through many changes that we have been witnessing, and the way it has been coming into our lives, that today we have also the watch measuring our life. It has happened also in industry. In industry also, we have had a lot of automation, robotics, and then Industry 4.0, where we have the internet coming in. What the discussion is here today is how these technologies, be it artificial intelligence, big data, IoT, robotics, blockchain, drones, are coming into quality infrastructure, are becoming part and parcels of the quality infrastructure services, of the quality infrastructure main activities, because these technologies also are influencing. On the one side, quality infrastructure has to measure, has to build trust, has to accredit, has to certify about them. On the other hand, they are using, we see drones in certification, in inspection, all these things. You will be having a very good discussion. I don't need to go into it, but the issue is how these technologies are penetrating the very essence of what we call today the metrology 4.0. We call it smart technologies, smart laboratories. We also see that more and more sensors are being utilized. And is it possible to talk about anything today without referring to COVID? Yes, COVID-19 has changed also the way we will do our work. We are very pleased to have Eti Fella with us, and in accreditation, I think in certification, especially, there will be a big change through remote auditing, and the new normal will be probably hybrid. It has decreased the cost. It has shown many changes. We will have much more real-time information, and I think that we are starting just a process. However, I would like just to mention that even before the crisis, before the COVID crisis, Unido has been already very much a state of the art at the upfront. We published last year a document which you may recall, rebooting infrastructure for a sustainable future, which basically aims at showing how quality infrastructure needs to be really utilized for each of the pillars people, planet, and prosperity, which is the triple bottom line, but also we already talked about how digital technologies will influence. And we had also another publication that you may all recall very recently on advancing conformity assessment in the digital age, where we also elaborate how this is moving. So with these introductory words, I wish you a very happy quality day, very good deliberations, and hope that we will continue working so closely together. Look forward for a very fruitful discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Bernardo. It's a very good opportunity for us to hear you and for giving us this nice introduction. Thank you very much. We will start now with the first panelist. Yeah, Mr. Ulrich, the floor is yours.
Yes, hello everybody. Good day wherever you are currently. For me, it's a pleasure to present here at Unido. And my topic is to bring three areas together: the fourth industrial revolution, quality infrastructure, and industrial development, especially with a focus to developing countries. And in the center of my presentation, I will put as an example the natural cosmetic industry and the value chain. Next. Yes, what we see in the natural cosmetic value chain, as in many sectors, digital technology are becoming much more relevant. We have here 4 examples: mobile technologies used by consumers to become better informed about the products along the value chain. Also, the blockchain technology as a trust building mechanism informing about ingredients, for example, of the cosmetic products. In the countryside and farming, the use, Bernardo already mentioned this, GPS, satellites, drones, coming more and more frequent. And also for inspection and verification, these techniques are increasingly used. And beyond the digital technologies, I think it's also to see standards as a social technology, which is quite important to make marketplaces work, reduce the transaction costs, and to make cooperation and competition more vivid. Next. The digitalization affects all links of the value chain, from farming to consumption. Here you see some examples. For example, farming equipment using smart technologies. In the manufacturing sector, all the automatization using robotics, for example, for stock control, mixing, dosing, and also increasingly the efficiently use of energy and other resources is also a topic here, what is managed digitally. Also in transport and distribution, digital technologies, tracing and tracking mechanisms are used. And at the end, the consumer and retail has a possibility also to trace value chains and also use this technology to be in contact and retain consumers. So next. On this slide, I put together opportunities and challenges for companies in the natural value chain in developing countries. Well, obviously, the developing countries and natural cosmetic have some natural advantages, like the abundance of natural resources and the biodiversity. And the technology helps to leverage these advantages. And at the same time, also natural cosmetic manufacturers can benefit, especially from standards and all the quality infrastructure behind. But on the other side, the hindsight of that is companies of developing countries not directly connected to final consumers. Lead companies are managing the value chain. The access to digital technology is many times expensive for them or complicated to reach. And also the whole framework of research and technology in the country is not so developed like in the industrialized world. Therefore, the questions about inclusion and social justice, I think they're crucial, and I will come back to this point at the end with some questions. Next. Here you have the typical diagram what we're using to explain what is quality infrastructure all about. In the center, you see the 5 key components: accreditation, certification, standardization, testing and inspection, and metrology. On the right side, you have the international organization where this infrastructure is embedded. And on the left side, you have examples of a value chain with all the digital technologies, what I have already mentioned. And the challenge is now to use this quality infrastructure, make it usable for the digitalization of the natural cosmetic value chains. Corner piece of that are standards, and especially the ISO 16128 standard, which defines the product and especially the ingredients for natural and organic products. But this standard is not certificable at itself. Therefore, in the industry, and you have 2 examples here, they use sustainability standards, which are using the ISO standard as a reference. Therefore, there's a link between the sustainability standards and the ISO standards. And in the backbone, there are all the services of quality infrastructure involved. The natural ingredients needs to be tested. The final products needs to be tested. There needs to be metrological traceability, and the whole system requires accreditation. And therefore, you see that the whole system needs to serve and be adapted to the requirements of the value chain. And this is probably important to know that for quality infrastructure, this digitalization is in many areas still something new, and therefore there is a challenge to develop this whole system further. Next. In developing countries, there is a need for the quality infrastructure to adapt and evolve, because quality infrastructure in general is developed very much in the industrial manufacturing world. And now to adapt to sustainability issues, to natural questions like the ingredients for natural organic cosmetics, there is a need to do work and to articulate the whole system. And I put here some examples, for example, the adoption of international standards. I mentioned already the ISO 16128, but also environmental footprints needs to be adapted to local standards. Then we have also in metrology the same area where there's a strong need to develop chemical metrology in developing countries. And also in conformity assessment, the competences for these new kind of products needs to be established. And obviously, accreditation needs to be the companion for this whole development. Next. Ending, I'd like to finish this presentation with some questions to discuss further. One question is digital transformation is already happening, but it is open. But is it open, inclusive, sustainable, and fair? The second question is about, we know that the new technologies save money, but can everybody invest in it? And the third is what I already mentioned about the quality infrastructure. What kind of quality infrastructure needs the natural cosmetic value chain, and how this quality infrastructure needs to be developed? And at the end, what is the role of the International Development Cooperation, and in your case, especially of Unido in this area? With this, I like to finish my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ulrich, for this very comprehensive and detailed presentation on quality infrastructure and how it's affected by the digital transformation technologies. Particularly, I think the questions you pose at the end are very relevant for all of us. Thank you very much. We will continue now with the presentation from Eti. Eti, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the session and happy quality day or week. My presentation will be about how the quality infrastructure actually setting up market access, increasing of competitiveness, for neutral cosmetic and chemical products. On behalf of ILAC, I am the chair of ILAC for the last 2 years, and for the next 3 years, I would like to share with you ILAC objective. As an international non-governmental organization, our objective is to have a global network to maintain arrangement and to cover in all economies, increase comparison, and to act as a central hub for harmonization for developing and development countries. And for sure, we provide assistance for developing countries. Accreditation, ILAC, and the quality infrastructure 4.0, we have to make sure that we understand where we are living in. Each one of us has its own economy, have to work according to policies and businesses leader in our country. We should consider also follow-up of standards, since each country adopt a national standard, regional and international. As was mentioned in the beginning, we have to redefine the way we are working and proactively train all people that are taking part in this system. The ILAC MRA contain 5 regions and 102 economies, and in general, it works. The international recognition works via the regions. Each region is recognized by ILAC, and each region is responsible for all economies to recognize each and one of them according to the ILAC MRA. At this point, I would like to share with you that in most of the assessment, although we are in a very crucial situation, most of the assessment has been done and are done based on digital technology, as was mentioned, a combination of on-site and remote and document review. And each country, and it's based on each in each country on their risk assessment. To add to the previous speaker, I want to share with you that we have MOUs with several organizations around the world, as you can see here, and the aim is to reduce the barrier to trade and duplication. In some cases, the accreditation infrastructure is used to get recognition by other technical organizations around the world, and it helps the economy and the trade between economies and countries to develop new areas of accreditation. We are also leading for the last 2 years the international network of quality infrastructure, which is known as Inequi. The aim is to enhance cooperation between these organizations. We are the chair currently. ILAC is the chair of this consortium of international organization, and I think that the direct benefit to the world is that we will have projects like a virtual library that will combine all the information from all the organizations that are part of this consortium. So how we facilitate market access? As was mentioned earlier, we are the base for testing, inspection, and certified once, except everywhere. On the global point of view, industry laboratories and inspection body works according to the same international standards. And if there is a need, I have to mention here that in some cases, we add some clarification document or guidance documents in order to make sure that everyone works at the same way. On the regulation point of view, always we have to bear in mind that regional and national regulation are first, and then international demands can be adapted. The competence issue, and I want to now talk a little bit about chemicals and cosmetics. First of all, raw material or the active or final ingredients are tested with the same scale. As was mentioned earlier, accreditation facilitate and harmonize a way that everyone should perform validation, everyone should take into consideration traceability and the uncertainty of results. And once we have done all these, when we check test raw material or the active ingredients, the producers can have the same way of judging the quality of these products. About natural cosmetic and chemical products, I mentioned only two examples here. Everyone knows the uniqueness of olive oil. I'm not sure how many of you know that there is also a very unique oil from the pomegranate seeds. And in both cases, natural cosmetics that are based on, for example, agricultural products, sampling should be done according to international standards. Testing, inspection, and report, everything is done according to the accreditation system. The future. ILAC support regions, ABs, as well as CAPs. I want to emphasize that everyone these days have to be very creative and flexible. We have to train everyone to the new world, to the combination of remote and on-site, including our regulators and stakeholders, and to provide a reliable, efficiency, and relevant response to the market. There are two data resources that we support the global accreditation system. First of all, public assurance. There are a lot of examples that show how accreditation, digitalization of the accreditation system help the producers and the industry. And the industry, we have over 300 cases there. Also, there is a business benefit website, And I think that once we get into a new arena in a new country, it's better to know that someone did it already. We have over 95 cases studies that can help us to convince regulators and governments that accreditation can be a good solution to help them to open their country to new market. And all the information is available on these sites. When you will get my presentation, you will get also all the source for future information. And with this, I want to thank you very much. And you have here my email, so any questions, I will be more than happy to answer everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Eti, for this nice presentation and for sharing with us the work of ILAC, particularly on the initiative that you have on the Inequi QI, and for giving us some comments on, on some highlights on the linkages with the cosmetic and chemical products of the work that you are doing. Thank you very much. Now we will go with a view for the industry side. We will have a presentation from Mr. Barun Gogia. Barun, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. As you can see, I belong to Confederation of Indian Industry. This is basically a 125-year-old organization that aims to represent Indian industry to the government. And basically, this was formed to promote the interest of small and medium engineering firms in India. And gradually, it became one of the biggest industry apex body of India. Now we have over 500 intellectual groups that are formed in the modes of council, committees, task forces, and working groups that are working on national and international level across the various sectors, representing all the ministries the government has. So I'll quickly move to the next slide before so CII plays a policy advocacy role and works as a catalyst between the government and industry to represent each of them on a common platform and deliberate on the discussions that we have related to the industry and segment. We do have, CII has played a very good role in, huge role in new technological advancements, as bringing in Internet of Things, cloud computing, big data, cybersecurity, and we have a huge team of counselors and consulting organizations, those who are on the board with us. So to start with, I'll first, give an overview of Industry 4.0. So as you can see, since we're talking about quality infrastructure, so this exactly relates to what we have been going through. So Industry 1.0, if we see in the early 1800s, that we used to have water and steam powered machines, that were running the economies. So in case you need to co-link with the quality. So quality at that time was ensured through manual measurement and inspection, and there was no focus on the loss and wastage, etc. So if you see Industry 2.0, the second revolution, brought in the electricity powered machines, and we had, primary source was the power, wherein we used to work with the industries. So it was easier to use comparatively, of course, and quality was the, quality focus was on minimum accepted, quality level. That means we were not focusing more on the ensuring the quality, but to maximize the productivity and measuring the labor performance. And quality was not given that much importance that it demanded actually. And if you see the this quality 3.0, if we see, it's like in the last few decades of 20th century, the invention and manufacturing of electronic devices came in, for example, the transistors and all, later integrated circuit chips were made, and, quality became a tool of measuring the business performance. It was basically an indicator, we can say, we had. And in Germany, 2011, the Industry 4.0, came in place, wherein the industry was connected with Internet of Things and the manufacturing techniques that enable the sharing of information, bringing out quality-based, the evidence-based approach on the ensuring the quality. And this is where the quality 4.0 is linked. So quality plays an important role here, and it's like optimization, of generalization of quality basically came in place with the tools like artificial intelligence, machine learning, and 3D printing. So what do we understand basically here is that Industry 4.0 plays a key role in ensuring that quality infrastructure is, is what quality infrastructure demands. So Industry 4.0 is basically the answer. So same way, like there are two chains. One is supply chain, one is value chain. The supply chain is like from farm to fork. So right from the agricultural land to the straight to the fork up in the hand. Like the second one is value chain, which basically focus on what customer sees, what the customer demands. So this can eliminate non-value add activities from downstream to upstream. So this basically is quality 4.0. What is actually the quality 4.0? That's basically it's the ability to integrate quality into new technologies. So in 2017, a group of consultants realized the importance of quality, and it was more linked to information technology. To be in line with Industry 4.0, we needed the processes to be in line, and where quality plays the important role in invention. So for this, intervention of the quality professionals is a must, basically. So there you can see the differences between traditional quality and quality 4.0. I will not go through these because the slide is basically self-explanatory. So what I'll do is I'll just move to the next slide. These basically are the core pillars which ensure quality 4.0 is efficiently implemented. And if you see, there are like these are the core enablers like transformation, performance, which focuses more on data analytics, connectivity, technology, application development, and evidence-based approach in which when the data is available with you, you can make decisions based on the fact, not the feelings. And customer centricity, it's like co-creation with customer, design as per what customer demands. So human capital says that you engage people, you develop people, and then you empower the people. Okay, so we also have this point as stakeholder management, then business process management, wherein we are how your processes are capable of handling the entire value chain. Then collaboration and innovation management. So collaboration basically is how information technology, that's your knowledge repository, and innovation management that focuses on the pool of resources which gives you innovation and knowledge that you compile, come to a solution that can be implemented for a better outcome in your processes. So in the era of digitalization where everything involves cost, and it is better to start from a value chain wherein we need to automate with what gives us the most value. And CII is working on this and ensuring that we start the drive right from the incoming stage, from vendors end to customers end. And hence it's not a very simple topic. We need to break down this into different stages, 3 stages, and implement this seamlessly. So CIS focuses basically on these 3 pillars. If you see the methodology, standardization, accreditation, and CIS taking various steps jointly with not just the Bureau of Indian Standards, but also international level of organizations like British Standard Institution, and you have NC, American National Standard Institute, Eurofins, Underwriter Laboratories, different other international laboratory and standard institutes to ensure the policy recommendation to the government, to not only just Indian companies but also the Indian companies that are based outside the country. So what basically is needed for quality infrastructure, sound quality infrastructure is, according to us, we need to adapt the best international practices. So what we usually do is organizing international study missions, in which we take the organizations based in India to different companies, the best in class organizations, where we learn different things in different manner, and then they come deliberate, form a report, and implement what's the best we can do. We need to ensure a better synergy between, the accreditation, standardization, and methodology. And synergy, basically, quality infrastructure should establish a synergy between the four key LSs. So one is government. The second we say is technical institutions. The third is like civil society, and the fourth is media enterprises. So they need to have a good collaboration in between them. And we also need to encourage MSMEs for the development of products as per the international standards, by ensuring that they utilize the existing quality infrastructure is in the most resourceful way. And difficulties of course, MSMEs have further escalated, after the breakdown, after this outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic. And we need to have, of course, the enhanced focus on research and development centers. So, research gives you knowledge and development gives you design. So building these prototypes, if they prove their feasibility, they can be converted into commercial product services. So co-creation here plays a realistic role, if we see. So I think that should be all from my side. I hope I have touched upon the important areas of focus.
Okay, thank you very much, Varun, for this nice insight on how industry is approaching modernizing the quality infrastructure procedures and the approach, particularly for supporting SMEs. Thank you very much. We will go now for the last presentation. Javier, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Alejandro, for the introduction. Thank you also to our managing director and the whole team of the Directorate of Digitalization, Technology and Agribusiness, to my mates for their wonderful presentations, and of course to all the participants which joined us today. This presentation focuses on how the quality infrastructure system not only works as a trade facilitator, but also how it is actually a booster of value for value chains, the value chain, and its bigger brother, the chemical value chain. At the end, I would talk a little about some digitalization initiatives carried out by our beneficiaries in Colombia related with QI 4.0, some of them with the Unido support, but I would like to start showing a typical value chain of natural cosmetics from the seed and from the natural resource, moving ahead to the processing, the production, the conformity assessment, and the trade of natural cosmetics, both nationally and internationally. All those are adding value steps, obviously, but the rate of value added in each link can vary a lot, impacting the final benefit for the producers, which are in general small and medium companies. Here I want to talk about quality infrastructure as trade facilitator, but also as value booster. In fact, carefully inspected ingredients, accurate measurements of properties, laboratory tests to assure formulations stability or efficacy, for example, accreditation to access higher income markets. All of them are key factors to have a higher product value, a better price, and a higher income for companies and families. I introduced price in my argument since it is one of the main drivers of the added value. We can call the primary conception of added value based on the difference between product price and input costs. And in this figure that was extracted from the National Laboratory Policy of Colombia, in whose discussion we also participated, we can see how price and quality are strongly related, and is in fact in the non-regulated and the voluntary level where the greatest value is achieved with quality as a differentiator. It is important to highlight the contribution to the Sustainable Development Goals, which is in the Unido mandate. This is a picture of a small company benefited of a Unido QI project called Safe Flush, with impact positively the cosmetic value chain in Colombia. And there, small and medium companies to comply quality requirements and the whole quality infrastructure system were strengthened with new capabilities toward a more competitive value chain. This is the performance of the Colombian cosmetic sector on terms of added value, according to data of Colombian government. 2013 was the year in which Safe Plus was formulated, and the whole implementation occurred between 2015 and 2018. I didn't select intentionally those numbers. They are the only ones available for revision of that industrial classification. And this is not to show that the entire result of the sectoral performance is thanks to SAFE, but certainly the impact was big enough and was recognized by the main industry representatives of the country. SAFE Plus was also the base to upscale the interventions, not only in the cosmetic sectors, but to other sectors that are part of the chemical industry, through the country project in Colombia of the Global Quality and Standards Program led by Unido and also funded by SECO. This new project also relies on quality as a driver of competitiveness of the chemical value chains and works on the strengthening of the quality infrastructure system and the value chain itself. Here I would like to present some quality infrastructure initiatives in Colombia related with the fourth industrial revolution. Some of them supported by Unido, some of them led by project beneficiaries, and also to highlight some aspects to be developed in the future. You will notice that not only the three pillars are involved, but the entire quality infrastructure instead, starting with the level of governance and policy. In this review of the production transformation policy of Colombia, for example, we urged for the supporting digitalization more fully in order to solve the lack of laboratories in areas such as acoustics, photometry, and radiometry, which are enabling factors for Industry 4.0. This is policy encouraging digitalization, but it also works in the opposite way. The use of big data, for example, for the formulation of policies based on real and significant data must be encouraged. In the institutional field, Ulrich talked about metrology, standardization, and accreditation 4.0. Superintendence of Industry and Commerce, which is a GQSP beneficiary of Colombia, is starting slowly to put available small data on legal metrology, which allows, for example, that local producers can now easily which instrument repair can assist them. Also, a national accreditation body of Colombia fully implemented during the pandemic their remote accreditation auditing, and even this experience was shared with the Peruvian accreditation body workshop held by GQSP. A really interesting path is still to go in terms of metrology 4.0, remote calibration, metrology clouds, and similars. But the National Metrology Institute is already working towards digital certificates, which is one of the first steps towards the digitalization of the metrology. In the conformity assessment field, we are building, for example, a brand new search engine of laboratory capabilities in Colombia, which is an action of the National Laboratory Policy seeking to integrate at least 7 existing databases using big data and machine learning to ease the access of companies to laboratory services. The objective here is to close the gap between offer and demand of laboratory services so the companies can demonstrate more easily their quality requirements, and the laboratory market can be also dynamized. Still many possibilities in conformity assessment 4.0, such as the mentioned by Ulrich, need to be approached, but some interesting ones are being developed in GQSP countries such as Ghana with the use of Xylotron to inspect natural species of timber. In the value chain upgrading, here I include a print screen of a digital tool that let local producers know all the necessary non-tariff requirements to access Europe and United States. Also, I put a print screen of a cloud tool is in our development, is an open access Power BI tool that we adapted for our monitoring purposes in GQSP Colombia, which let us know almost in real time the current status of implementation of a company or laboratory working in our technical assistance programs, the number of hours dedicated by consultants to each beneficiary, its location, among others. Finally, for awareness raising, we have developed for a type communities for sharing knowledge and quality infrastructure, and with the emerging of the pandemics, we, and I think the entire world, is shortening distances through the use of digital channels, new methodologies, for example, for standardization, technical committees, and in general, a more widespread use of technology in benefit of the chemical and cosmetic value chains and the quality national infrastructures. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Javier. It's nice to see how Unido is already moving in the application of these new technologies already in sectors in Colombia. Yeah, I will start now with the round of questions. Yeah, the first question is for Ulrich. Yeah. Just a minute. Yeah, Ulrich, which strategies should be followed by developing countries to ensure that the national quality infrastructure can meet the requirements of SMEs in the cosmetic and chemical sectors within the context of 4IR? And could a regional approach be suitable?
Well, this is a good question. Well, I prefer strategizing also to connecting with reality, and therefore we developed together with the German Metrology Institute PTB approach, what is called Calidena, and Unido is using similar approaches to work with specific value chain. And I think the work what Javier is doing in Colombia is quite similar to choose a specific product and bring together the stakeholder from the value chain with the stakeholder from the quality infrastructure and figure out what is required, especially by demanding markets, and then to check what do we have in our countries and to identify the gaps to improve the quality infrastructure services, and also to sensitize the small and medium-sized enterprises about the advantages to buy in certification and the whole world of quality infrastructure. And therefore, I would start strategizing on specific products, and then you need to have a process within quality infrastructure to bring also the quality infrastructure bodies together to learn together, because we still have a strong fragmentation. And I think what ETI is doing at the global level to bringing in together the quality infrastructure institutions, we need to have this also on the country level to bring in and learn together and understand themselves as one infrastructure. And then you can build together strategies, and each organization can articulate this in their area of competence.
Thank you very much. The next question is with Eti. Eti, how can the integration of digital technologies improve the process of establishing accreditation systems to enhance market access and promote the competitiveness of SMEs in developing countries? And which role could initiatives such as Inequi play in this regard?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. I will share my answer between these two questions. I think that the digital technology help us to be more transparent on the global level, on the regional level, as well as on the national level, to show the information to all our partners, stakeholders, as well as regulators. We have to make sure that everyone is, what we say, on the same page, everyone understands the system, and everyone agree that the transparency can help market access. At this point, I would like to emphasize that one point that a lot of countries around the world approach me about is confidentiality. We have to make sure that market access doesn't mean not to follow national regulation. This is one of the crucial issues. We have to work with them and not against them. So once we have all our partners together, all the information is transparent. It will have on the national, regional, and international level promote our products, and the access to the market will be easier. Initiatives like INET-QI play a crucial role in reducing duplication and in giving the quality the place that it should be. It's not the second best, it's the first one, in order for all of us to speak at the same language. Everyone to want to reach out his goals, his objective. I mean, everyone, each one of the 20 organizations that are part of INET-QI. But in order to be effective, we have to speak at the same language. We have to be transparent between ourselves and to get to the point that we agree on a lot of issues, and each one stay with his professional uniqueness. But in general, quality is quality. And once we will agree that quality is the basic, all the rest will be more transparent to all of us around the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. The next question is with Barun. Barun, from a strategic point of view, what policies and regulations are needed for enabling a smooth digital transformation of the quality infrastructure services?
Thank you, Alejandro. I think we should first of all look at the way infrastructure is managed. Basically, we should aim at more public institution and service providers that can give us jump start rather than just handing over to here and there. And next, I would say is creating a pool of, as I also mentioned in my presentation, that it's a part of Quality 4.0. And there's this pool of resources which gives us the innovative ideas that can help us transform to transform digitally very efficiently, because this gives you a filtered cohesive forum. And I think we need to also have the regulations to protect the long-term interest of consumers that are basically where there is where there is no or very less market competition in terms of quality infrastructure is confirmed. Other than this, I would say the use of big data for infrastructure service planning can boost the performance of existing infrastructure assets, and as well as the efficiency and optimization of new infrastructure service offerings. And this is where data privacy and data security acts come in play, and we need to have a very strong regulations and governance act in this. Third, I would say it's institutions for good governance are the key. We should have processes and institutions that produce the results that meet the needs of the society, ensuring that they use the resources optimally at their end. And lastly, I would say, although technology is replacing major processes throughout the industry, whether be it any sector, not just QI, but human capital plays the most significant role. So people need to be, upskilled. We need to, at times, we need to unlearn few things that can give us, that can take us to a completely different path. So we need to relearn some things, and we need to move ahead very efficiently in that way. So I think that's all I have to say. We need to look at this.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Varun. The next question is with Javier. Javier, based on the experience obtained during the implementation of the project in Colombia, which areas of national quality system could greatly benefit from the further integration of digital technologies like the ones you presented, and why?
Okay, although the maturity level of the quality infrastructure in general has been increasing, I think in terms of quality for 4.0, the possibilities are a lot. I talked, for example, of the potential of big data to formulate more effective quality policies and laboratory policies based on real and significant data, which can help to address more accurately the needs and also the policy initiatives for closing gaps. But there is on the governance level, but moving ahead on the three pillars of quality infrastructure, digitalization can play a key factor in standardization, for example, to improve the technological and sectoral surveillance, which is the base to explore new standards opportunities. Also, shortening distances through remote channels can be very rewarding for the discussion of standards, since a more integrating, inclusive, and quick approach can be implemented. In addition, blockchain has a huge potential, for instance, to ease the validation and the international recognition of accreditation data between countries, and big data and cloud computing could be great boosters for metrology, facilitating the access to calibration data, which let users to know the entire traceability of any measure in any moment. In conformity assessment, of course, is where the possibilities are as many as fields of work, through the implementation of drones for inspection, remote reading labels for shipments inspection, digital conformity certifications, remote calibrations, and in general, if we bear in mind that the Industry 4.0 is a relatively recent concept, I think there is a long path to transit, a huge amount of possibilities to improve the quality infrastructure through digitalization, and of course, a big responsibility on the shoulders of QI leaders to assure that this new quality infrastructure can benefit everyone.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Javier, for this very nice answer. Yeah, really, we wish to have more time for engaging in the more, in further discussion, but unfortunately, we need to close the session. I just want to thank you, our distinguished panelists today. For having, for sharing all this knowledge with all of us, and particularly for showing us how quality infrastructure is moving ahead according to the changes and the context of the fourth industrial revolution, and considering all the challenges that has brought this pandemic that we have now in the world. I wish also to mention to all the attendees here that we will be sharing afterwards all these presentations, and also the link for the video. And also we'd like to take the opportunity to invite you to attend the next session that we will be organizing on digital transformation in the pharmaceutical industry, another sector where Unido is also working. And again, to thank all our distinguished panelists, and I wish you all the best to everyone. Thank you very much.